Well, good morning, Vision. Okay, so did you ever wake up in the morning feeling defeated and your feet have not yet reached the floor? Okay? Did you ever feel like, same stuff, different day? And you're not even out of bed yet, right? Did you ever feel that mind-numbing stagnation, which is your life suffocating you? Just sucking the joy right out of living? Do you ever wonder why? Do you ever wonder why? Why is this happening to me? So who'd you blame it on? Who'd you blame it on? Because that's why we ask why, right? That is why we ask the question why, so we can assign blame to somebody. It's got to be somebody's fault we're living this crappy life we're living. It's because I have a family to support. I have to get up and go to this job I hate every day. Because I didn't get a trust fund. I'm not a trust fund baby. It's because I can't catch a break. Right? Sometimes we blame ourselves. Because I didn't make the right choices for myself. Because I, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but I didn't. Boy, if I had it to do all over again. Gee, if only I knew then what I know now, right? And then we get up and we shuffle into the bathroom for our morning ritual, and we get showered, and we get ready, and we go to work. And it's the same old routine day in and day out. Now, what's wrong with that picture? Everything. Everything is wrong with it. I'll tell you what I get out of it. Blaming the world for where we find ourselves in the world is like blaming the tennis ball when we hit it into the net. It's not the ball's fault. The ball doesn't even have the power of reason. The ball cannot decide to go over the net just to spite us or not, or to smite us or not, or to do anything to us. The ball is just an outpicturing of the power that it is subject to. That's all it is. The ball didn't create gravity, didn't create physics or momentum that was applied to it. It just responded to the power that was applied to it. The ball is just an effect. It was just acting according to the power that was placed upon it. It's not the ball's fault it didn't go over the net. So whose fault is it? Well. If I hit it, it's my responsibility to use the power of physics correctly, to use the power of gravity correctly, to use my body correctly, to lift the ball over the net and into play. It's my responsibility to do that if that's the role that I have chosen to take. It's not my fault if it doesn't go over. It's my responsibility to do the job correctly. I didn't create gravity or physics either. I'm just using them to accomplish something. If I don't align myself correctly with these powers, these natural powers that occur in the world, physics, momentum, gravity, lift, if I don't use them and align with them correctly, I will get the absolute perfect outcome for my misuse of those powers. I'll hit it into the net. So if I miss the ball, or if I miss the shot, actually, and I net the ball, I can do one of several things. I can blame the ball. You stupid ball. Why didn't you go over the net? What's wrong with you? Yes, you know that one, right? Okay, I can blame myself. Oh, you idiot. What is wrong with you? I can't believe you hit it into the net. You'll never learn this game. You are an idiot. Or I can learn from what I witnessed and do something a little bit different next time. And that would be my advice to myself. I would choose option 3. I would try to witness and then learn something from that event, and maybe next time do something a little differently. Maybe next time open the face of the racket a little bit. Maybe next time use a little lift. Maybe next time use a little topspin. Whatever, but I would learn something. I would encourage myself to learn something from it and do something differently next time. That would be the advice I would give myself. But blaming the ball is so much easier, isn't it? And blaming ourselves is so much easier. In fact, I think it's our favorite pastime. Rita Schiavone said this. She said, talking about our problems is our greatest addiction. Break the habit. Talk about your joys instead. So whether I'm complaining about the ball or complaining to the ball, or whether I'm complaining about being stuck in that dead-end job, or whether I'm complaining about being overweight but not doing anything about it. Shh, quiet, don't even talk. Or if I'm complaining about chronically being tired, whatever it is, I'm placing the blame on the ball. I'm placing the blame on the people, places, and things around me for why my life's a mess, or not working, or why I'm unhappy, or why I'm not fulfilled, or whatever. I'm blaming the ball. Either way, whether I'm blaming myself or I'm blaming the ball, I'm placing my good outside of myself. I'm placing my good somewhere out there, and if I only could get it, then I'd be happy. I am separating myself from my good, and when I do that, I separate myself from my God, I separate myself from my truth. I separate myself from my own inner divinity. I am believing the false impression of the world of effects has power over me instead of my spiritual inner divinity having power over it. See, I'm looking at it backwards. Does that make sense? I'm seeing with my human eyes. I'm not seeing with the eyes of God. And guess what, guys? Our human eyes fall way, way short. Our physical human eyes, you know that we can see less than 1% of the electromagnetic light spectrum? It's true. We hear less than 1% of the acoustic spectrum. Do you know humans have 26 chromosomes? The common potato has 48. Really. So we come together, we get 46 chromosomes, right? This brand new baby, yay. Too short of a common potato. Do you know that 90% of the cells in our body has its own microbial DNA and doesn't even belong to us? It's not even us. It's just living in there. So depending on our physical bodies to inform us about the truth of the world around us is a little short-sighted. Short-sighted. Anyway. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't want to give my power over to the ball. I don't want to give my power over to the things of the world. The things in the world come and go, rise and fall all the time. The things of the world are temporary and transient, and they're always changing. I don't want to give my power over to the ball when it's always changing. It's not a wise choice for me to make. I want to place my power within, where I find my divinity. You know how you know whether you're at the effect of the world? You know how you know when your small self is in charge of your life? When my bad day dictates how I feel. oh, I know I am at the effect of the world. If I'm all up and happy and everything's cool, yay, give me a high five because everything's working out according to the way I'm wanting it to work out, and I'm all happy, I'm at effect of the world. If I'm all down and depressed because work sucked and then I came home, I'm still at effect of the world. When I come home from work because work was horrible because I didn't make that sale or I didn't close that deal or I was told I had to rewrite that contract or whatever, and then I come home and I slime the entire family because of it, I'm at the effect of the world. I'm letting the things of the world change me instead of me being in charge of how I respond to the things of the world. Okay? I'm giving over my power to the things of the world. I'm giving my power over to the ball that doesn't even know me. I get emails every morning from the company that Tom Dooley runs called Note from the Universe. Does anybody get them? Oh my God, they're so good. They're positive affirmations, and you get them every morning in the mail, in the email. So I got one this past week, and it was really fun, but what it said was the top 10 ways people give away their power. And I thought, oh, this is great. It works right into what we were talking about this morning. And here's what he wrote. The top 10 ways people give away their power is they ask others what they should do. Number 1, we think God decides who gets what. Number 3, we worry about how our dream will come true. Number 4, we think we have to pay dues. Number 5, we attach to unimportant details and outcomes. Number 6, we believe in soulmates. Only one and only person in the whole wide world. Okay. Number 7, we think karma or social contracts are absolute. Number 8, we fear anything, even falling in love. Number 9, we must wait for all of our ducks to fall into a row before we do anything. And number 10 way we give away our power is we choose to be unhappy. We choose to be unhappy. Now, these are all ways in which we as humans give away our power. We see from the level of effect. We're seeing from the level of the ball. But that's not seeing as God sees. And I would add one more to his list anyway, and I think another way we give away our power is when we judge. When we judge people, places, things, events, circumstances. We just judge everything. And that is another way, a big way, that we give away our power. And here's the reason. Because when we judge, we're holding people up to our preferences, to our idea of how it's supposed to be. We're making that determination, and when things aren't working according to our plans, then we judge them. We judge them as wrong, or we judge them as right if it's happening the way we want it to. But we're judging it right or wrong. We judge things wrong that don't favor us. We judge things right that we think, yay, that's the way I want it to be anyway. So that's a good thing. We're constantly judging. The bottom line is we don't have a clue. Just don't have a clue. We have no way of knowing about the divine unfoldment in any given situation. Who would have thought Justice Roberts would have been the justice to cross the line and write the opinion for the majority? Who here could have predicted that? Okay? Nobody. We couldn't have written that script. Couldn't have written it. Who would have thought that he would have been the one? People had money on Kennedy, but Anyway, it's just the idea that we don't have a clue. We don't know how it's going to work out. And agree or disagree with the decision, that's irrelevant. What I'm saying is we don't know. We don't know someone else's path. We don't know someone else's truth. We don't know someone else's mind. So it's a shocker, but still, it's fun, isn't it? It's an adventure. And the thing is, if there is only one mind, there is really truly only one life, and we're individualizing it. We are expressing it individually and uniquely as us. There's still only the one life. And so what is good for someone is good for us. There is good to be had. Maybe we don't know what that is, and maybe we don't know how it's going to come out, but it's up to us to hold that there is good happening, that there is good happening, that good is evolving, that things are getting better. There is one mind. Even if we don't believe it, it's still the truth. There is no us and them. There's only the one life of God, individualizing itself as all of us. There is no us and them. We've created the illusion of us and them. Jonathan Swift said, we have just enough religion to make us hate, but not enough to make us love. We need to let go of that desire, to sort people out as us and them. There's only one life. It's only one bowl. There is only one, and it's God. And it's individualizing itself. But there's nothing else for anything to be made out of except for the energy, that conscious, sentient energy that thought itself into being by saying, I am. And then the physical world outpictured. So everything, every molecule, every subatomic particle is made of that same stuff that claimed I am, that same energy. There's nothing else to make anything else out of. So we share that. We share that same energy of being. And when we hold someone else as wrong, we're holding ourselves as wrong. There's some part of us that we find unacceptable. When we're not realizing that every one of us is an expression of that one life. Ernest Holmes was paraphrasing the Bible, as he was often loved to do. And he said this. He said, if you lay your gift on the altar and begin to pray and remember you are holding something against your brother, you might as well just take up your forward quarter of lamb and go home and make a stew out of it, because it isn't acceptable to God. Now, he admitted those weren't the words exactly of the Bible, but they were his words. And he went on to say, why? Because we cannot enter peace while we are in a state of confusion. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. We cannot bless ourselves if we're holding our brothers wrong. It's just not going to happen. We cannot hope to have our prayers answered while we are holding thoughts of condemnation against another. Not going to happen. We need to stand in the truth of our own divinity, and we need to shout from the rooftops, I am love. God is love, and I am that. God is love, and I am that. We hold nothing against another human. We hold nothing against life. Hold nothing against beingness. The good we desire is good for all. We need to know that. We need to know that and not hold on to our little petty grievances and our little limited ideas of what's right and wrong for everybody else. And we need to stand in the truth that God is love. Now, every religion says that. Every religion in the world says that. God is love. God is love. God is love. So one thing we don't seem to get the hang of is that basic tenet. God is love. And we are that. God is love and we are that. There's a story about, the man that journeys to the mountaintop, and he stands up there and he says, God, fill me. I'm ready. He's done all his work. Fill me. I'm ready. I'm ready to be filled with your light, your love. And God yells down, I do that all the time. You keep leaking. And that is our practice. That is our practice. We have to keep being refilled because we keep leaking. We leak with our judgments. We leak with our condemnations. We leak with our tired stereotypes. We leak with our fears, But we have to keep going back, and we have to keep refilling. We have to keep remembering. We have to keep remembering. And what we have to remember is that God is one. God is life, and we are that. God is love, and we are that. God is the wholeness and allness of being, and we are that. Just as God sees us as whole, perfect, and complete. We need to practice seeing us as whole, perfect, and complete. Sure, we exhibit unskilled behavior. We yell at the ball. We refuse to take responsibility. We blame others. We get frightened. We do all kinds of weird and crazy human things. But then in the stillness of the moment, we remember. We remember who we are. And then we get to see as God sees again. We remember we're all spirit. We remember we are all equal. Ernest Holmes, in private lectures that he gave, he said this. He said, right here is the mind that everything came from, the substance, and it is the stuff out of which everything came. Songs, inventions, anything and everything, right here. It is right here. It came forth into expression by intelligence and nothing else. Don't limit this thing. Grow big inside. Get over the little thoughts, the little concepts, and comprehend more. Conceive of more than what is. Say it, feel it inside, and know it. Those are powerful, powerful words. Grow big inside. Do you feel that? Grow big inside. Get over our little thoughts, our little petty grievances, our little concepts, and comprehend more. Seeing as God sees demands we give up our own little personal ideas of what's right and wrong for other people. It demands we give up our small, comfortable life with our small, comfortable illusions of safety and security, and we stand in the eternal truth. And we speak from that. And we love without limits. And we speak the truth of that. And we practice forgiveness as soon as we realize we've been judging and condemning. And we see life, all life, as one life, the life of God's. And then we're seeing with the eyes of God. And then we're seeing as God sees. F. Scott Fitzgerald said this. He said, for what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early, to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Stop whenever you want. You can change, or you can stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We make the best of it, or we make the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. And I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people with a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start all over again. That's seeing how God